Oh, what's up, YouTube? This episode is going to be focused on this box to the right of me right here. I ended up catching I believe, female orb-weaver on the side of my house. The reason we ended up catching her in the first place was because I was going to end up throwing away that frame that she set up on. And I thought, why not create a little home for it? Just like I did my Black Widow over here on the big box. I guess originally the inspiration was this box, and now we kind of translated it to a new environment. I went more square for this one because the spherical shape of the orb-weaver's web that it tends to create. And she currently set one up in here already. I'm going to show you that at the end. I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. We're going to first start with focusing on building the box that the spider will end up being housed in. And then we'll just jump into kind of showcasing the spider, maybe talking about some facts. I'm not entirely sure yet, so stay tuned. So here's the mise en place of the box. It's all the 3 glass panels cut. It is all the framing around those panels and the base and the edges of the box itself. We're going to start off by gluing the base together, and then I have a little time lapse of me throwing the frame and the glass all together. This was actually such a headache because I didn't measure anything because I'm a lazy woodworker, and I'm just kind of bringing in each joint that is cut and prepared and marking out with the Sharpie. And a big fat Sharpie is no tool for precision, and I had to make a couple cuts a few times, but we ended up with the frame complete. Focusing on the lid of the box again, we are gonna start plugging the voids left over from the routed trenches the glass sits in each frame. I'm deciding to plug these with poplar just due to its ease of use and its kind of softness. Also, the yellowy cream tinge contrasts well with the dark walnut, and this kind of led me down this route of accenting the box more than I originally was thinking about. This is kind of a rinse and repeat type of deal. I am grabbing the rectangular stock that I cut down on my bandsaw and comparing it with the hole I need to plug, and then going to the belt sander and sanding down the appropriate amount to then glue up and plug the holes with. And then I'll cut that with the flush cut saw and do that again and again for about 8 times. I actually think the irregularity of this turned out to be more of a benefit than a negative. This box by no means is a perfect craftsman's box, but I think it does stand alone and looks really unique and beautiful in its own right. And this was just one of those things that was like a happy accident that I didn't initially plan on, but turned out to be kind of a cool part of the box and gave it a lot of character. Now we're moving on to reinforcing all the lap joints with wooden dowels. You can see here I am marking and then drilling out the holes on each joint, and then I am going to show you that I'm pretty much doing the same thing as I did with the square plugs as I am doing with the round dowels, except I'm throwing it in a drill and just making it cylindrical. And from there it's just like the plugs previously, where I drill, plug, hammer in with some wood glue, and cut it down to size. So, as seen previously with the lid of the box, we are now marking and drilling and then plugging with dowels. After we get all the dowels set and glued up, we're going to take the lid and the base of the box to the belt sander and just sand down any of the excess that might be hanging from the lid or the edges of the dowels on the box. This is getting me 99% of the way there. From there, we're going to align the lid with the base and get the hinges mounted on the base, and then use double-sided tape to figure out where the hinges are going to sit best on the lid of the box, to then route out a recess in the lid for those hinges to sit in. And the reason I'm doing hinges currently and assuring alignment is I'm going to then take the box to my belt sander and sand down the excess on the lid and the excess on the box to fully match the top of the box with the base of the box. Double-sided tape is such a legit little trick to kind of have in your toolbox when it comes to woodworking. I don't know who I saw it by first, but it's genuinely helped me out so many times with my CNC and just something like this where I'm trying to mount hinges and ensure that the placement of the lid and the hinges are all perfectly in line. And this just worked out flawlessly, in my opinion. So with both the top and the bottom mounted with the hinges and the front latch, we are now moving on to the rough shaping of the box. This is just aligning both the top and the bottom as previously mentioned. I love this part in the crafting journey of just building anything, is when you start seeing the piece fully come together and you can get a full glimpse of what the project you've been working on is going to look like. And now we get to the funnest part of the whole process, where your risk of getting cancer is increased. That is sanding. As you can see, I am wearing a respirator, and all jokes aside, this is the most labor intensive and kind of boring process in woodworking, but totally necessary to get your beautiful finish and just really pull out all the features of the grain of the wood. As said earlier on in this video, I hit it with 100 grit to kind of do the rough sanding that got rid of all the belt sander marks, and then from there I go up to 180 and then 240 to finish it off. And then finally, baby, we get to the finished part. So I'm finishing up this orb-weaver box with olive oil. The reason I'm doing this is because I did the same thing with my Black Widow box and I really love the result, and it seems to not bug my Black Widow at all, so I'm gonna just keep it the same. I think when we watch people on YouTube finish up any of their projects with a lacquer or oil-based finish, that is the one part of the video that we will always jump ahead to, because we just want to get straight to the point of looking at something gorgeous that someone made. And for me, it's no different. And rewatching this little clip and editing, I'm like, oh yes, nice, you know, because there's nothing like the satisfaction of applying an oil and just seeing the wood pop and the character just really thrust itself upon your eyes, and you just kind of be proud as the craftsman behind it. And all of this to say that I just genuinely love doing this, and it's the reason I think I've been woodworking for so long, because it's that feeling of fulfillment that you get when you're like, oh man, I've just been building this project for a couple weeks and I just sanded it, and I got freaking sawdust all over my face and hair and etc. You know, it's a project, and it's work, but it's work that's just, at the end of the day, the most fulfilling work you can do, which is building something and getting to this. And last but not least, here is the web to showcase. This is where I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye. You done? Are you finished?